Welcome to the multiplication course. My name is Steve Whiteborney, and this is the third list. For this activity, you'll need a pencil and a blank piece of paper. Pause the video until you have those supplies ready. In this video, we'll quickly review the 5 steps of list activities, and then you'll go through them on your own after the video. The 5 steps are: create the list, test the list twice, sort the list, examine the single dots in order to find powerful learning opportunities. Here is a quick review of those 5 steps. To create the list, the process was to draw the lines and write the facts. To test the list twice, you use 2 pieces of paper. You use one to cover the products and the other to cover the factors. Then you slid one down to reveal the factors. Here we see 2 times 2. You said the product out loud. You slid the other paper to check, and if you were correct, you placed a dot next to it. Then you continued. You moved to the next one, said the product aloud, checked it, and if it was correct, placed a dot next to it. Then you continued down the list, checking and placing dots, saying the answer out loud, checking it, and placing dots when you were correct. But if you didn't know, or checked and it was wrong, then you did not place a dot. You kept going all the way through the list. And you did this on both sides. That was the first time through. Then you repeated the process, but this time when you went through it again, you had an extra piece of information, which was that you could tell which facts already had a dot and which ones didn't. The second time through, you added a second dot if you were correct a second time. You kept going, checking and adding dots. Sometimes on the second time through, you marked one correct for the first time, like this. And so you went through the left side of the list again, marking the dots. And then the right side of the list again, following the same process, marking some dots twice, and others not at all. You completed this side, marking all the dots along the way. And then your list was finished. You had tested it twice, and you had separated it into 3 groups. The group with 2 dots that you had answered correctly twice, the group with no dots that you didn't answer correctly either time, and the group with 1 dot, which is a very important group. Once the dots were finished, the third step was to sort the list. You did that on a separate piece of paper. You transfer the facts from this paper onto another sheet of paper. You wrote all of the equations with 2 dots, then all of the equations with 1 dot, then all of the equations with no dots. That completed the third step of sorting the list, which brought us to the 4th and 5th steps. Examine the equations with the single dots in order to find powerful learning opportunities. When you reach this point in the process, you'll especially focus on the set of equations with just 1 dot, and you'll ask the question, how are the factors connected to the product? And look for new connections and new ideas. You may be able to use some of those connections to help you learn other ideas. In a moment, I'll show you the facts in a new order so that you can create the new list. And then when the video ends, go through the rest of the steps yourself. Test the list twice, sort the list according to the dots, then examine the single dots in order to find powerful learning opportunities. Let's begin by creating the list. To create the list, you'll need your pencil and your piece of paper. Pause the video until you have those supplies ready. On your paper, draw a horizontal line and also draw a vertical line. And now I'll give you the new list to copy onto your paper. Here is the new list. You can see that I'm writing the entire list in all of the boxes on the screen. That is so you will only have to pause 1 time. Okay, now that the list is on the screen, we're about to pause so you can copy the list onto your paper. Remember that when you are finished writing the list, you can simply continue the video. Okay, it's time to pause. Pause the video to copy the list. Now that you have created the list and the video is about to end, remember that when the video ends, complete the rest of the steps on your own. Test the list twice and mark the dots. Sort the list onto a new piece of paper, putting them in order according to the dots, and finally, examine the single dots in order to find powerful learning opportunities. I'll let you go to work on those steps. This is the multiplication course. My name is Steve Wyborny, and this is the third list.